Hey everybody, clearing. Okay, so this reading's going to be for twin flame, soulmate, aligned one, the one that's going to be your match or is your perfect match. I'm going to let you decide what you're calling that connection and what that looks like for you. But for those who are not in, karmic situations at this time, my intention is that this is about the person that you are coming into further alignment with. So let's get into it. So I'm going to call this the DM, but I've got some questions here that I don't typically do. How do they feel about you emotionally, mentally, and physically right now? What are they actually focusing on primarily in their own lives at this time? What do they want with your connection right now? And do they have any plans to achieve that? What are their concerns at this time that they may have? What are some situations or a situation that's out of their control? Truly, it's not in divine timing at this time. And what higher guidance are they receiving about your connection? And then some guidance along the way for the feminines that are most likely the ones watching this right now. So take gender how it resonates, and yes, let's get into it. So thank you, Divine Creator. What are the DMs thinking and feeling about these situations through all of the questions that I've just expressed? What can we see for my viewers about the person that they are coming into further alignment with and how that is being experienced by their sweetheart? I don't think I've ever called our counterparts our sweethearts before. What are the energetic ways of looking at this that will bring more of an expanded view to what the DMs are currently conscious of? This deck, the After Tarot, is going to be a heads up for the DMs, what might be considered or any kind of actionables going forward, any factors that they may benefit from understanding. And then for my DFs, some support regarding what we'll see on each question here. Okay, finally. If you are curious about an update on Suka, I posted a video. I went and saw her today, and I posted a video of how she's walking. She was wagging her tail, and the vet is saying that she's exceeding healing expectations at this point in the last 48 hours, and that she's expected to have a full recovery. So, okay, let's get into this. I did open sessions as well. So if you would like to grab a session, and for the end of January, first week of February, I have opened those up. And yeah, okay, let's get into this. Divine masculines or aligned ones. What are they feeling about the divine feminines emotionally right now? Ooh, lots of passion and wanting to see how this goes. Like, that's the wifey card. They're not quite sure if you want them. They know that there's this chemistry though. So they do have an emotionally charged chemistry. They are still having a little bit of trouble balancing out their emotions because it is so intense and such an unusual experience with you. Because you are truly aligned, you defy karmic logic. You're not the kind of connection that they are familiar with. And so while they may want something in the future, they don't actually know what that should look like. So they're not forecasting too many particulars, but they do know that the passion is leading them somewhere with you. For some, they're for the first time realizing they've met somebody that they don't have to lock it down with a marriage paper, the paper. So, yeah, you have them rethinking what are the fundamentals of actual connection compared to the way the world has demonstrated. And I'm not saying they won't want to marry you. It's just that they've finally found somebody that justifies a life partnership is what I'm feeling there. And for some, they're just very amazed that the paper would be irrelevant because they have such an undying passion. What is the energetic thing that's backing this? Awakening to source, soul confidence, reassurance, source essence, right? It's not of earthly origin. This life partnership thing is on the soul level. It's coming from source. It's beyond the mundane. And so emotionally, there is something much more profound going on in your connection, and they do recognize that. What is the advice? Keep working on it, masculines. In the 3D, this is, bringing it out of separation. The reason I say that, the 5D, 5 of coins, and then the 3 of coins in this 8 of coins, which is the working on it card. But the references here, the way I read it, we've got these multidimensional 5D coming into the physical. So this is about channeling what you're being guided, this passion, acting on it, following when it's genuinely warranted, masculines, and doing more and more things in the 3D that reflect the knowledge of the 5D, the source connection, the energetics of this, that warrant you investing more into the physical with your counterpart here. What do the feminines need to know about that? You're going to see it. You don't see it coming. With the Ace of Swords, which is the sword of truth, in the upright, I would say you're going to see some signs, but right now you don't even see it coming. It's going to, like lightning bolt strikes out of nowhere. You won't have any warning. Here, it's like you're consciously manifesting it, and you're not really surprised because you're holding a lightning rod up, and of course you're going to get this, but you're not even asking for things right now, and that's why you're going to be pleasantly surprised, because as your masculine deepens their emotional connection to you, it will be an inspired motion that will move like the Holy Spirit. I heard they will be moved to action when the energies allow, rather than sort of that analytical cause and effect. This is both dropping out of the logic and being open to surprises and opening to the moment to moment energy here, this passionate action. So there could be some spontaneous shows of affection. I'm hearing, feminines, you don't have to think too much about it, but definitely understand if it works for you when it happens, because you are the ruler of your domain. And if it doesn't work for you, you're not meant to just accept blindly whatever comes to you. However, there's not an agenda behind some of these gestures or actions. And so you don't have to worry that it's a trap, is what I'm hearing. If this is truly your aligned one, they're just following that guidance too. Okay, what can we see for the mental aspects these masculines are holding for the feminines? Wow, Tower and Knight of Cups. So something right now is causing them to shift their perception of self and their own understanding of their worthiness. I'm getting that they see you in a new light. They see you in a more genuine, higher light. And it's causing them, as a result, to feel even more honored. They are connected to somebody with your character this way. And it's really causing them to love themselves more, because somebody of your caliber, your value, is really into them, and they know it. They know that you're not willing to cut corners with them. And whatever has happened, this Tower moment that has happened recently within their own structure, their own mental constructs, self-love here, it's been causing them to really feel a genuine pride in who they've become, that they can connect with somebody like you, feminines. What is the energetic? Yeah, higher mind, communion, contemplation, higher mind. So they can see the level that the two of you are engaging over, even energetically. Maybe you have had conversations, but they know that the resonance between the two of you is next level. It's not a mundane connection. I always giggle when I see this card because it's 69, but there is a yin-yang kind of click between the two of you, and they are seeing that it reflects favorably on them, that they are loved by you, that they know you, that they are traveling along with you. This is where they want to honor and respect you, because that is truly what you deserve. So this again is your aligned one. those who you're, if there are some that are watching this not for someone who's actually aligned with them, that doesn't necessarily, fit. Not everybody is going to rise to the respect and honor, but the ones that this reading really is for, these masculines are genuinely coming to the humility that they do want to honor and respect. I heard "till death do us part" just now, and we don't need a paper for that. I just heard. So yeah, good on you, masculines. What is the advice for these masculines? Okay, you are glowing brighter than ever, feminines. In your masculine, even though they're focused on material realm provision and foundation and still looking at different things to bring life force energy. Sometimes I look at this serpent as the snake in the Garden of Eden, like temptation, but here I'm looking at it as the Kundalini, the inspiration that's rising, the life force rising, this passion rising that is supportive. This is the serpent, the spine, up through the chakras, bringing new life into this, and you are unmistakable. Red is for grounding, root chakra as well. So I'm getting here that this is the preparation to come into their full aliveness so they can ground this with you. And if you think they've forgotten about you, how could you forget about this blazing fiery red light? You can't. What is the advice for the feminines in these situations? There is a little watch and wait energy here. This is an investment card. This is a gardening card. Take care of you, self-love, fertilize, sun, all the nutrients, the water, drink water. This is about tending your garden right now and not being in limitation, lack thinking, not being in waiting, but really still continuing to nurture yourself and tend to your own garden, because you are growing in importance to these masculines. What are they thinking about the physical connection? Now, when I wrote this, it wasn't necessarily the sexual connection. It wasn't necessarily the physical attraction. It was more about the physical circumstances. So you may pick up messages, depending on what cards we're getting, about how they think of you physically, but I'm really being guided that this is more of the logistics and the physical world circumstances. So let's see what they are thinking about that. Wow, King of Wands, and this is so nice because this is the garden card. This is the Empress waiting, the garden, the lady in waiting in the garden. And so this King of Wands, divine masculine energy, is seeing you ripe for the picking. They are seeing you developing this. Well, you've got the 7 of Pentacles and this is the 9. So they see you kind of producing fruit that's ripening here, and they are waiting and surveying this process. These incredibly brilliant masculines, they know when the fruit is at its peak to pick, ripe on the vine. And so they are watching for this readiness. They are very much being guided about the circumstances. They see things coming into ripeness here. What is the energetic card? So dimensional planes of perception, number 4, intention, mental breakthroughs, and ideas. So they are getting more ideas about this bounty that's going to be received. There is abundance here that's going to be celebrated together. They're starting to get ideas. It's giving them next level ideas. Their dimensions of perception are opening to things they had not conceived of before. And it's because they're watching you do things they didn't think that you would do. Not because they don't believe in you, but because they have heard it all before. I just heard, and that others have said things and not followed through. And they have seen you follow through with all of the things that they know that you've set as targets and goals to reach. And so because they're seeing you do this, they are brainstorming accordingly with what they now think is possible. And this is giving them next level confidence and ideas that if XYZ is true, and they are actually seeing through actions, not just empty words, this becoming fully coming through you. They are now having much more confidence in what could be possible, and they are unhooking from the fear that kept them thinking that love wouldn't find them, or that they couldn't find somebody that could actually partner with them on the levels that their potential, their budding potential feels like it could reach. They are now starting to see they could partner. Their ambition, their passion, their freedom, their spontaneity, their joy in the world is, they're seeing you match that, and it's really turning them on. It's showing them that they could actually be themselves in your relationship, that no threats. They're starting to feel comforted that the typical insecurities that plague relationships that are codependent aren't here, because the two of you are solid individuals. Lots of channeled messages. So it's popping off to them intellectually right now that they could live and be and do their life on their terms, and still, I'm hearing, come home to you and share their adventures and their experiences, and to feel comforted and not like you're going to criticize them or judge them. They feel like they could live their best life, and that you would cheer them on and celebrate, and that there won't be control dynamics running through your connection, because they have nothing to prove to you, and you're not asking for anything because you're whole in yourself. It's like, we get to come back together time and time again. We get to celebrate our experiences and adventures. We get to understand what it's like to be with somebody that's not jealous or mistrusting, and that really wants to live vicariously through each other and the different various experiences. It's like an exponential sharing rather than a controlling scenario. That's really profound. It's coming clearly through to the masculines right now. What can we see for the advice on that? Yeah, masculines, you are like a chieftain here. I was going to say, this empowerment, this worthiness that you are embodying is going to be utilized in community. You're going to be showing others, friends, family, instead of those naysayers or the people that you may or may not have told about this connection for so many reasons to begin with, because it was unusual. There could be so many differences that society would sort of question. But now, masculines, because you validated the love here, you're actually schooling all of these friends and family that you would have been intimidated about what they thought about this connection before. Now you're able to say, I see your skepticism and I raise you this perspective. That's so beautiful. That is so lovely, masculines. What do the feminines need to know about these circumstances? There is going to be this return. So whatever your obstacles have been with your aligned one, they've literally had to take space to understand the workaround. They have had to be in a period of integration and solitude regarding those very obstacles, so they could bring back that surety that those things actually weren't a thing. They had to go and slay the dragon of those gatekeeper obstacles. They are just, the energetic bureaucracy. I don't know how to say it. It's like, when we're growing, we challenge the norms. And so these periods of spaciousness that I'm feeling, where there may have arisen atypical kind of circumstances or factors, these periods of separation have been so that those factors can be confirmed as actually not being issues. And so that's why this workaround. They've had enough time to really understand and intend to crack the code of those obstacles. I just saw 1919. So yeah, they really aren't concerned anymore about the physical world circumstances or differences or obstacles. They now know that they could hold their own in community when questioned about anything, that they would be able to show a higher perspective. Thank you, masculines. That is unconditional love and such a beautiful thing. But it comes from their security in knowing you actually love them. They're seeing it in your actions, not just your words, feminines. Okay, so what are the masculines focusing on in their lives at this time? They are closing out cycles for union. Oh, that surprised me actually. So whatever these things are they're wrapping up from last year or from this last cycle, they are busying themselves figuring out how to bring closure to those particular things for this union. This is the 1111, the Four of Wands. This is powerful intention to move through their lives with a spiritual foundation, meaning they are discerning the way that they're making decisions. It has to sit well with their soul, or they're not saying yes to things. They've cultivated this foundation where they now are using that as a way to discover what they need to close out. If it does not have a solid feel, if they don't feel like, they don't assess that something is balanced and a energetically solid thing, they're closing it out. So they're really, it could look drastic from an outside perspective. They're tapping into excellence is what I'm hearing. And so anything that they don't feel vibrates at that frequency is being cut out right now. And I'm hearing there are some people that are not happy about that. They don't understand it. They are of the mentality that they masculines may not be as loyal as they once thought, but the masculines are understanding that some of those perceived loyalties weren't founded in truth. And so the masculines are actually not having any difficulty removing themselves from certain contracts, agreements, affiliations, friendships, relationships, exes. Even the masculines are understanding they have to finalize any kind of loose ends with exes, tie up legal matters, not lead their exes on, or not play any kind of energetic hooking games with outdated energy. That doesn't mean it hasn't been a bumpy ride. And I am getting that for many, they have revisited certain relationships from the past, especially with Mercury retrograde that we just had, and that they had entertained possibilities and legitimately looked at the hidden recesses of those unfinished businesses. But now they have seen the light and they are closing those out for full union with their aligned one. And so don't be intimidated by that, feminines, because the masculines have been thorough. You know they are wholeheartedly invested in you when they do come forward. Okay, masculines, what is the energetic thing here? Yeah, commitment, connection, flexibility, resolution. So there is a deep resolution of things that are not this foundation. The Four of Wands is a union card. Anything that falls short of true union energies, masculines are closing that out and resolving so they can have unadulterated connection with their aligned one. What is the advice for the masculines? Let the transformation roll out. Let this new dawn come in. Wave your victory flag. Keep going. Do not entertain the codependency stuff that is the change back dynamic. Keep on your horse and ride. Masculines, ride out of range of that radio station. Keep going. You've got this. This is walking through the valley of the shadow of death. So sometimes that's easy, sometimes that's hard. And you do have to keep going. Not everything is for everyone for the long term. And you alone are responsible for your karma, masculines, and for making the choices to live your best life. Only you know what that truly is. Nobody else gets to tell your story. If other people are telling you what is best for you, masculines, they don't love you. They mean well, they may think they love you, but that is not love. So masculines, consider that. What is the advice for the feminines? Feminines right now, separation is an illusion, but there is some tenderness here. Don't fear that you are being rejected or left out in the cold by your masculines. It looks like they are still heavily processing certain things. You might be picking up on their emotions here and there, but don't be a victim right now, feminines. Don't see it that way. Truly understand that in order to have what you've been praying for, what you've been wanting, you have to be infallible, and so you do have to be tempered, you do have to be patient, you have to see it from a higher big picture, you have to have room in your heart for it. You even have to have room in your heart that if it doesn't align with this particular person, that something better is going to come, and that it's all not wasted. You are on track. If you've been watching this, feminines, and you're feeling this sadness, mourning, melancholy, just know that you are right where you're meant to be. Ask for higher guidance on how to look at it in a different way so it doesn't hurt you. There are blessings and reasons why everything is happening and how you can spin it for growth and appreciation to get back on track. What can we see for what do the masculines want in these connections right now? Yeah, the Lovers and the Moon. So they want it all, I just heard. They want the cosmic love. They want true love. They want a higher love. They want to partner with their sacred divine feminine, their mystic, their psychic intuitive feminine. They want this otherworldly, spiritually inclined, energetic master as a partner. They want to get cosmic with you in every regard, manifestations, sensually. They want the tantra. They want the higher dimensional. They want to go to space. They want to get up and out of. They want to touch the face of God through the connection with you. What is the energetic? Auric cleansing, replenishment, renewal, and restoration. They want to heal with you. They want to seal off any of these things that were eroded, any of the worries of the world. They want to be safe space with you. They want to be in another dimension with you. They want the two of you to be in the world, but not of it, together. They want you to be each other's safe space in this incarnation. Oof, so beautiful. Masculine's advice. Yeah. Appreciate your feminine. Appreciate your feminine for what they've given you, for their patience, for their nurture, for their love. This is the epiphany that the masculines are having about the contribution their feminines have given. Instead of feeling ashamed that your feminine has given you more than you've given in the past, masculines, the truth of this is you just got to start appreciating and returning that in kind. And so it's not about just letting it shut you down more and more when you see a very generous, beautifully gifting feminine that is abundant and fertility and lushness is just rolling off of their heart. It's not about locking down and saying, I'm never going to catch up, I'm not worthy, they're just too good for me. It's not about that. It's about allowing through your own worthiness to know that there's a reason that you have been chosen by that sacred being to have this gift of love. They see your heart, they see your soul, and now it's about realizing your worth and understanding that it's deserved to be loved like that. All the times you've reached out for a higher power to bring you solace, to bring you love, to bring you somebody on your team. Masculines, it's happened. You found your person. Accept it, masculines. So the advice here really is take it to heart. Take it to heart, masculines, and allow that love in. Digest it, you know. It's not fast food. It's literally the most nourishing manna, Okay, what is the advice for the feminines? Oh, yeah, so walk away from all of the suffering, feminines. This is my card of walking away from emotional things, but this is, don't walk away from your masculine. Walk away from the fear, walk away from anything that you tell yourself that is not supportive. You don't have to pretend you're further along in these connections than you are, but you don't have to bully yourself. What can we see for okay, so the masculines do want to have this emotional sacred intimacy, but what do they plan on doing about this at this time? Ooh, they plan on bringing justice when the time is right. So the sun in the reverse, they don't know exactly the timing, but they do want to make it right. So they want to make it up to you. They want to make it up to themselves because they ultimately hurt themselves more or as much. This hurts me more than it hurts you kind of thing. Unbelievably, feminines, that is what is going on here. Yeah, so the masculines are realizing how they've been treating themselves. They need a little bit more time to understand that it is hurting them more, if not the same as it hurts you. Or, you know, feminines, you're so whole, and you can take, your capacity is so big. In some regards, it is hurting the masculines more than it is hurting the feminines at this point, because the feminines have had to weather so many storms, knowing fully consciously the potentials that they've intuitively sensed here. And so masculines, it is quite possible that you have been only hurting yourself, and that your feminine is the strongest, most unconditionally loving being that has been forged in your reality. And so, yeah, masculines have to realize that when they hurt you, they hurt themselves, and they need a little bit more time to just understand the depth of that realization in their own right, so that they understand the oneness, the unity, the way that energy transference works is when they are inappropriately treating somebody who actually loves them, that it hurts them. Their guidance system is affected. Their personal mojo is affected when they are not honoring the highest. Energy wants to balance, and it's not well in the cosmos when a pure being isn't treated with honor. And the masculines are taking the brunt of those actions when they are not able to follow through and honor a divine feminine. They suffer. They're catching on to that. I'm hearing Atreyu. Oh my gosh. Okay, so adenine and thymine, duality, contrast, trust, and balance. So they're realizing that there is this aha moment that what they do to self, they do, or what they do to you, they do to self. So this balancing, this contrast, this duality, this paired experience is really being illuminated to them, and they're trusting that if they treat you right, it will all be good. That's the flip side of it, is that they're starting to see that if they invest, it will be abundant. If they feed into or pour into this connection, it will be exponential. Likewise, that their grief is magnified when they resist their aligned one. Ooh. What is the advice for the masculines hearing this? More self-love. Drink from that cup of more self-love and understand that it literally is. This is that tower moment we saw in the beginning. Same card in the same inverted position. When they love themselves, they love you, feminines, because you're their perfect match. So masculines, When you see yourself as worthy, when you know that you deserve love, your feminine is the one that the divine has made for you, that loves you. You are a perfect match. You are made for each other. And when you accept that you actually have found somebody that has been your perfect match, has shown up, and that means you are redeemable, you are worthy, you are forgiven, you are whole, you deserve it. Masculines, this is about receiving the gift that you have in your feminine and taking it to heart. What do the feminines need to know about this? Know your worth as well, feminines. This is the psychic intuitive understanding. Everybody, it's like the same kind of feeling here, but erase all of those times that you felt rejected by your masculine and understand you were feeling their pain. Empathically, you were feeling what they were feeling, even before they could consciously connect the dots or understand it. When they rejected you, they weren't actually rejecting you. What the pain was that you were feeling that distance between honor and truth and the action that occurred. And that is a calibration, an emotional reading. The instrumentation, that was like a reading, an output reading of the degree of separation that they were acting out, modeling. And so it wasn't actually your personal pain. Your ego self-identified the pain as yours because it was trying to get your attention, to tell you that something was owie, that something was amiss, that something was that degree of separation. And so it was never yours. It was an instrument reading of how out of alignment your masculine was. That is a really important reminder. I do say things like that in my private readings. I'm not sure that might have been the first time that came out in a YouTube reading. But feminines, just really learn that when you pick up on anyone's emotions, when somebody makes you feel a certain kind of way, you're actually most likely feeling how much suffering they're having. Our ego wants to name it with triggers and past experiences that we've had, but if somebody brings an energy to you and you feel a certain kind of way because of it, and you have a storyline that comes up in your mind about how it makes you feel, it may not be the same kind of set and setting that you're assigning to it from your particular experiences, but the frequency and the level of suffering will be the same. It will be a transference of how much suffering that person is in that affected you. But the stories, the way that they're feeling, won't be the same ways that you have experienced, that your ego is trying to inform you through those personal symbols of your past experiences. But that energy transference is coming from that person that's acting out towards you. It's not yours. Sometimes you're throwing that at other people and you're making them feel a certain kind of way, and they might make it about them and make it personal because they're feeling your level of anxiety or suffering. And so watch how energy is thrown at each other. When we don't put that on others, we go to source, we balance that out in ourselves, we can connect in karma-free ways of triumph and victory and progress together. But this is why we're pulled apart on this journey, and we don't typically integrate these things through rehashing of conversations and lengthy debates and apologies and repentance and all of that stuff, is because that's very karmic when we're trying to get that redemption from a person or vice versa. We're meant to say, how do I interpret all these energies that I've been experiencing in my own right so I can have clarity and peace? And this is one of the ways that we can energetically discern where it's coming from. We could use other paradigms like psychology or attachment styles or various different practical things. But when we're triggered, it is because we're telling ourselves a storyline that maybe we haven't healed yet. If we've healed and those particular experiences have just become our symbols, when those illuminate to us, just make sure that you understand that it's not happening right now. Those are being illuminated to show you the degree of intensity that the other person might be feeling at this time, etc. That's not the only way, but that's the particular angle of consideration I'm being asked to express right now. So feminines, really do some of this processing so that you have unconditional love, so you can tell the difference between what is yours, what is your counterparts, and how you can simplify some of the hectic, chaotic energy when things don't sit right with you. This is how you can discern and begin to see where things are at. That way, conflict resolution, or this is where there's going to be no more issue with counterparts, and the two can truly team up for other things, the greater good, because there isn't this petty animosity anymore. There's not an immature understanding of energy being thrown back and forth. People are balanced, and it's not being put on others. That's what being in alignment with another master is like. There is a cohesive, mature, realized understanding of energy transference, and the two are not putting it on each other. So masculines are softening into accepting the goodness, because there has been a trust building period of time where you feminines have not put your insecurities on your masculines, and therefore they have been redeemed because they have not been the brunt of somebody else's stuff, and they've been modeled this beautiful, grace-filled way of not being dumped on and condemned. And so they've had to become righteous because they have nobody but themselves to be accountable for, with choices and beliefs and actions. This is that internal tower that is showing the masculines how loved, how lovable they are. Feminines, you are some of the most exquisitely strong beings on the planet, and your masculines are so blessed to have been given the opportunity to be loved by you. And if your person is not an aligned one, you have learned how to unconditionally love, so that when somebody who can return that love comes into your life, you will recognize what it is. You have found the eyes to see that, feminines, and masculines are coming into that as well here. Okay, so what are the masculine's concerns at this time? How to offer love. Here's the death energy again, that walking through the valley of the shadow of death, and it's in the position where it's over the midway point, and now we're starting to come out of it. We're rising up out of the valley and onto the horizon, and the concerns right now are how to reapproach, how to offer, how to break the ice, how to let the fish out of the cup here, to message what is the energetic, progressive awareness, multi-directional change, seal of evolutionary colors. So there has been a grand evolution here. There's been a transformation, and now the masculines want to start appreciating that. What is the advice for the masculines that want to start doing that? They're really look at what equal give and take is. Yes, masculines, you may feel like you've got some catching up to do, but it can be in small ways to begin, and it can be paced like that. It doesn't have to all happen overnight. It can be a gradual new mode of conduct where there are more opportunities to, I heard, man up and really just do the right thing, even if there's a sheepish energy, because that wasn't chosen in the past or couldn't be because of divine timing. Let's not dismiss the fact that many times the masculines wanted to do things but had that divine gag order. This is now changing, and now there are going to be opportunities to literally start investing more into these connections and develop a new norm. So the masculines are going to start coming forward in small ways with the intention to establish a new, more balanced, equal give and take. So masculines, it's okay if it's not the full coming correct with knowing all the answers and understanding exactly how your feminine needs to be loved or is going to value your shows of love more and more. I think you'll be surprised, masculines, that when you authentically are just inspired to offer, that whatever you give is going to be so greatly received now. Your feminines have stopped wanting grandiose shows. They just want you. I just got a lot of energy from the collective in that message. What can we see for advice? Invest. Offer what you can. Fruits don't all ripen at the same time. The first fruits are going to be these tentative new motions into the connection. What do the feminines need to know? This is going to rock your world. This is a paradigm shift for the feminines. You don't have to hold out for the be-all, end-all grand show. But your masculine is going to start offering you things that will make you say, did that just happen? Did they just do that? What's going on there? Wow, that was nice. Oh, that feels good. Ah, I've always wanted someone to say that. You know, that's the kind of thing that's going to really give you the assurance that your masculine is swallowing their pride and loving anyway. It's going to change everything. Don't make that fit. Don't force it. Don't be premature. I just saw 46. Let it happen naturally. Let it happen gradually. Let it happen bit by bit, feminines. It's going to happen whether you believe it or not. You've done so much work. If it's not this person, it's someone. You will have this, feminines. Okay, what are the situations outside of the masculine's control right now? Ooh, the devil and the high priest. Wow. Heaven and hell. So the balance. I mean, these are some broad spectrum energies. And so, how do I even begin with this? This is like as above, so below. But in the sense that the masculines have this broad spectrum understanding of the ways they've contributed to temptation or purity, when they've been in alignment, when they've acted out. They've had all of this range of experience that has shown them what it feels like for them to navigate in a wide spectrum of inner motivation. At the same time, we're never guaranteed tomorrow. We never really know all of the ways that the cosmos are balancing energy at any given moment. And so this is sort of, you know, always doing their best now that they know this and really hoping for the best, but knowing that we're never guaranteed anything. This is a walking in faith sort of energy that is outside of the control. We're not meant to figure it all out. We're just meant to know how we feel and what we want to do about things every step of the way. What is the energetic stuff? Orion Stargate, power, authority, influence, ambition. So this is like go amongst it, get amongst it, go out into the world and do your best. This is like the permission to live your best life, wholeheartedly, trusting yourself, trusting in the grand plan, and crossing every bridge as it comes. What is the advice for the masculines? Keep going to that. This is the spiritual initiate, the Page of Wands. This is walking away from things that are not sustaining. There is a karmic partner here with a bunch of straw that's not nourishing. So masculines, keep walking away from things that keep you small, that are less than. Don't settle. Keep finding that way forward. In every moment, do your best. This is like, don't be lazy about anything. Be impeccable. Don't sell yourself short. Don't be flaky. Don't fall to temptation. Don't desire lust. Masculines, don't use and abuse. Clean up your act. Tell yourself, tell your heart, it is worse to act on impulsive behavior and shady behavior, even if it's a rush. Cultivate discipline. Keep walking away from temptation. But, you know, it's ironic because you can be holier than thou, and you can have great fun when you do things that might seem taboo to others, but your heart knows it's right. So be discerning, masculines, in every moment. Only you know what it is for you, and keep walking that edge. Ride the edge, masculines. What is it that feminines need to know? Inner bravery. This is a wand, a soul spark for both. Only you know you, counterparts. Keep walking that edge. Okay, higher guidance the masculines are receiving at this time. Wow, 9 of Cups. They are getting these instructions on their heart wishes. They secretly know more than they are telling you about what they hope for in these connections, the future that they are beginning to be shown. Keep channeling, downloading that instruction, masculines. Sirian Stargate, transcendence, prayerfulness, and serenity. Keep coming into alignment with what you have on your plate to deal with and to work with, and trust your feminine will be doing the same, because that is what actually brings you into alignment. Not efforting, not strategy, not trying to do it so you can get closer to your person. It's literally what is best for each person. If you are an aligned match, it will bring you closer. That's it. If you do each what is best for you, it will naturally bring you closer and closer. Be in open curiosity about what that is at any given moment, and soften into it. Allow it wholeheartedly. Resist the temptation to be superstitious about it, and just let alignment have its way with you. When you're honest with what your heart wants, you can't make a wrong choice. What is the advice for the feminines? Empress. Glow on, shine on, you crazy diamonds. What can we see for the higher guidance the feminines are being given right now? Again, walk away from everything that doesn't emotionally serve within this connection, within other connections, within your psyche. Walk away from situations in the physical that are putting yourself in harm's way. Don't throw yourself into emotional turbulence in any regard. Cut it out, feminines. Walk away from that. So pray for your eyes to be open to the things that are falling short, and let your emotions be your guide, feminines. Neutrality, diplomacy, negotiation, philosophy. Don't fear that you're going to lose out on love if you cut out the crap, feminines. What is the advice for the feminines? Just keep showing up in your sweetness. Maintain your sweetness at all costs, feminines. Maintain your femininity. Maintain this beginner's eyes. Be present. Don't put yourself in any situations that compromise your sweetness. And pay attention to the energetics of everything. This is the teamwork that the counterparts are doing to anchor into more than meets the eye, so that the physical is a magical thing indeed. Okay, many blessings, everyone. Thank you so much again. You know who you are, you angels. I love you, and this is my greatest honor. I am absolutely blown away by how rad you all are. Bye for now.